with the Community Land Trust. One thing that I think is really exciting to see is that we've got the percentage of grants versus loans. And to me, that's really exciting because we know that most of these are in the form of short-term loans. So 70% of this money that was spent, of this $8.5 million, is coming back to us in the next 2 to 3 years to reinvest in the community. Here's a breakdown on the multifamily rental, both new and preserved, that we did last year. As you can see, the majority of them were 30% area median income, 17%, and then some in 60% AMI. Those 60% AMI units that we invested in specifically were for seniors or large bedroom apartments, because we know that we really have a need in the community for 3, 4, and plus apartments. So specifically, we looked at that criteria in order to invest in the 60% AMI units. And then, as you can see, a good share of what we invested in was SROs, and that was the Roth property, which is a great investment to preserve units for folks that are seeking transitional housing, folks that majority of those are 30% AMI. Looking forward to hearing more about that will launch, but they're going to be having social workers embedded on the property, lots of services, just really a great project. And then we invested in one low-income housing tax credit project. I shouldn't say that. Several of them. This was the one that was selected. This was originally known as Eastside Apartments, and I'm excited to let you know, and Three Rivers can share this too, but they named it Trotter Haven, which is very exciting. Jackie Trotter was one of the first social workers in Rochester Public Schools. She helped start the NAACP, the Diversity Council, just kind of a rock star in the community. So for them to name this in her honor is fantastic. This is a 36 units and really workforce housing is what it is. It's right down from the government center. There's going to be an indoor playground. It's right on the bus rapid transit system. And what you can see about this project is that we've done a lot in collaborating with all the partners here in the coalition. So the coalition provided a $480,000 grant for the project. The city provided funding of $545,000. First Homes donated the land for the project. And then again, the majority that's paid for through low-income housing tax credits. But the only way to get these projects across the finish line is really to put all of those sources together and make it happen. This particular project, I know, has been kind of like Sisyphus pushing the boulder up the hill for Three Rivers. They've been working on it for 5 years and finally was able to get enough funding to make it happen. So we're very excited for them. Here is the multifamily preservations that we invested in. The residents of Oaks Town Hall that I spoke about earlier, that was developed by, or was purchased or acquired by the Olmsted County HRA. There's 56 SROs. And they're all, again, 30% or below area median income. So our lowest income community members. And then the coalition provided a $1 million forgivable loan to purchase the project. There are a lot of things happening there. And so I'm excited as things move forward with the county that maybe have someone from the housing stability team kind of give us an update where that's at and where things are going. Because there's a lot of things in the works with that. Harvest Ridge Townhomes was a project we did with Three Rivers. That project really needed some tender loving care around the buildings. There was a lot of problems with the sidewalks and parking areas just not being safe. So we provided a $76,000 forgivable loan to upgrade those townhomes in Plainview, Minnesota. And then Watchman Manor was a project that was purchased. It was a 9-bedroom apartment complex, and Marcel Gerritsen and his organization here has provided supportive services there. It's a 30% AMI. They are utilizing the 4D program for Olmsted County, keeping that property cost affordable for them. And we provided 135,000 0% interest loan for 7 years. We really do look at each project at the coalition separately. Every project is a little bit different, and financing is different, and who's involved is different. This is a project that when we looked at the pro forma and the financial ability, thought that there's, that in 7 years we should
Hi,
be able
good morning. Do you have all the sandwiches today? May I have the
Nick Miller,
avocados?
Nick, you probably want to mute yourself, otherwise we're gonna all know about your sandwich order.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I thought I was muted, Sheila. I'm so sorry.
No worries, thank you.
So this is a particular project where we're doing an investment and then there's a balloon loan in 7 years. And the coalition will go out of that investment, but it'll continue to stay affordable. This homeownership creation project was a project that we did really in tandem with a lot of the work the city of Rochester has been doing around their homeownership creation program. 202 total homes, 152 townhomes. The portion that the coalition invested in were these 40 homes that are sold to households at or below 115% area median income. We're also requiring, with our commitment of $1.2 million coalition 0% interest construction loan, that the homes be owner occupied for at least 5 years. So they have that limit for that first purchase of 115% AMI. And then also they have to stay owner occupied for a period of 5 years. This, as you'll hear from Jim Miner shortly about kind of the numbers and what we're seeing and what we're building, and we've got developers, the Bigelow team and others here in the room to talk about the fact that just there were hardly any homes built under $500,000. So to see this happening along with other projects is just fantastic. And again, the city did a big lift here in doing residential TIF for the first time in what, Karen, 20 some years?
In about 20 years, yeah.
In about 20 years, so great project. The other thing that I like about this project is that the 40% or the 115% AMI homes are spread throughout the project too. So this is just really, it's really a mixed income project. I mean, there's going to be no homes over $500,000, but it's not like, the 40 homes will be grouped all together and then the other homes will be, it's very much scattered. And then this fantastic project that Bigelow Homes is working on, and it sounds to me, and maybe Mike could just give us a really quick update, but I think they're building homes now, right?
Yeah, the roof will go on this week.
Yay! So this is specifically a senior project. And it is slab on grade, 2-bedroom, 2-bath. Again, these will be for families 115% or below AMI. All the homes will sell for less than $350,000. We require a 5-year owner occupancy. We provided infrastructure and construction loans that again will be coming to the coalition for reinvestment. And then the city of Rochester is providing through their fee reimbursement program. And maybe Taryn, you could just describe a little bit about how the fee reimbursement program works.
Yeah, essentially, it's to incentivize creation of for sale housing. And so what it does is it allows, if homes are projected to be valued at a price under a certain value that we calculated could be affordable to a household earning up to 150%, and their area median income will reimburse up to $20,000 of what they would pay in city fees, essentially. And that's paid at the end, and usually we're seeing that being used as down payment assistance for the homes. Otherwise, we'd like to see it, the value reduced by as much, but we've seen it work well as being applied as down payment assistance.
So it's really advantage to the buyers.
Yeah.
Because it either reduces the sales price or helps them with the down payment, one of the two. So yeah, that's fantastic. And these are all by Gibbs, near Gibbs Elementary. So that part of town. And then we also invested in a homeownership creation project in Eoda, 36 townhomes. This is, my understanding, pretty close to the Quick Trip there in Eoda. It started with discussions with Jamie Judish's group with a tax abatement from the city of Eoda. And then we provided, again, the 0% interest construction loan. It's really mostly going to infrastructure. They're also limited to 115% AMI for the households and 5-year owner occupancy. All of these townhomes will be under $320,000. And then we invested heavily in first homes, which is something that we strongly believe in here, be able to keep our homes affordable in perpetuity. So there are 14 new construction homes that we invested in, including 6 multi-gen homes that are going to be on Rose Drive. These are really exciting, and we're going to bring Justin back as these move forward to talk a little bit more about them. Justin has been working with some of the members of our BIPOC co-design group around features and amenities for multi-generation families that would be really helpful. So things like, you know, separate entrances, separate parking areas. Have the first floor bedroom is accessible. So either a disabled family member or a senior can live on the first floor, 2 sets of laundry, one on the first floor, one on the second floor. So a lot of really kind of great thinking around that work. So excited to be sharing that. Then senior homestead or the Homestead Trails area, the city donated land for those projects. And I believe that they're well underway as well by First Homes. And then many of you are familiar with Red Hawk Drive and what Olmsted County HRA did. 10 homes that were placed in the community land trust, which are all sold now. There are 3 additional homes near there on Falcon Road that they're building. We are also helping them acquire and preserve and rehab 30 homes over the next 2 years that will then be placed in the community land trust. And here is kind of where we are with our progress. We're doing well. I think that I am confident that we are going to make 1,000 preservation and creation of homes by the end of 2026. We're at 487 as of the end of last year. We were at a higher number, but some of those projects didn't get funded all the way through LIHTC or whatever that might be. And they're going in for another round. So I think that we're in a good position here. In June alone, the coalition is considering 6 more projects with requests of almost $4 million. So we have a lot and 400 units of investment. So there's a lot out there, and it's been really exciting to see how we progressed. I would say that our highlights from 2024 are really building a lot more community awareness. I mean, it's just so exciting to see how full this room is for our Housing Alliance meetings, both online and in person, and see the engagement. But we've been, at the DMC Real Estate Summit, Brady had a real estate event in the city of Byron. We participated in that, a lot of engagement with all the smaller local cities as well. We participated in the Rester Area Builders Home Show. We participated in the Southeast Minnesota Together bus tour. And we also, in collaboration with DMC, did a financial housing forum for with the FDIC and OCC to roll out the state housing tax credit information. And I'm happy to tell folks that is already oversubscribed for the year. So that $9.9 million for 2025 tax year is already gone. So what that means is that going forward, we really need to be strategic about what projects are available here locally and get that word out to everyone so that in tax year 2026, we can start advertising the ability to invest in those projects. Questions? Any questions?
There's somebody online.
Oh, okay, Nancy?
Nancy?
Yeah, thanks. I was wondering how Community Land Trust is working, what kind of turnover you've had and considering their investment is really in just the structure, not the land, how that's worked out for some people that have been in the program and then change out of it. I mean, an idea of how their investment is paying off, even though I realize at this point it might be kind of short term. So just a general idea of how that's going for those that have invested in a CLT property. So thanks.
Nancy, I'm not entirely clear about your question. Would you mind restating it? I think.
Yeah, if someone has purchased a home through the Community Land Trust program and then they leave or move up or whatever, how are they doing with coming out ahead on their investments? Has it been a wash since it's kind of short term? Is it really
No.
doing great for them? Okay, thank you.
So I'm going to speak, but there are people in the room probably that know this better than I do. But the Community Land Trust has a requirement that the average stay is the same as any other private homeowner, about 7 years. The average length of stay. Some people stay longer, occasionally less time, but average is 7 years. At the point that the person wants to sell their home, there is an appraisal made of the value of the house. And the condition of the house. And if the house is sold, there is an equity sharing process. I believe it's an 80-20 process. 50-50. So whatever equity that has increased in that property, the homeowner gets 50% and the Community Land Trust gets 50%.
Just back up quick, just the homeowner for the mortgage, everything they paid, they get that back. This is just any appreciation.
Appreciation of the equity. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So does anyone else want to help clarify that? So it is a shared appreciation of the value of the home between the Community Land Trust and the homeowner. The average length of stay is 7 years. Occasionally it turns over faster, and occasionally there are people that I know of that have been in their homes for almost 20 years in Community Land Trust. So, and then there's also a bit of a subsidy that sort of continues for them.
And those specifically are homes for folks that are 80% or below area median income. And Jen just did a look back to see 2024. I believe she said that actually the average income for most of them were under 60% AMI that were able to purchase homes, which is incredible because they would be renting, but for that program.
Okay. Thank you. Paula, want to introduce
Hi.
yourself, Paula, because you didn't have a chance before, and then ask your question.
Paula Harden, disability rights activist. My questions and statements aren't about any particular program, but the first one is, did you send out a copy of the latest survey report? Like I forget the name of the people that have done it every year about.
We asked you about the Maxfield study, and we're going to comment.
Thank you. I couldn't remember the name.
I was just gonna,
So
and
go ahead.
okay, so no, do you have any other questions, Paula?
Yeah. My next question is, what are you doing about accessibility? And I want to make the